here with Isaac and Chase of 49 Winchester, backstage at the Grand Ole Opry. Isaac, it looks like we need to get you some new Whiskey Riff shirts because
for sure
you're getting in shape on the road. What's your secret?
I've been trying. It's mostly just drinking less beer. You know
but you're in Europe. Did you not drink a ton of beer?
Yeah, we drank a ton of beer in Europe. I'm not going to lie. I may have added a few of those pounds back, but I'll get them off, man. It's festival season's kicking off. Yeah. It's always hot and sweaty. It's a good excuse to get a little work in.
So that's the 49 Winchester workout, is just less beer?
It's just drink less beer, yeah, okay. Man.
Got it.
It's real simple.
I could probably do that one, but...
I don't know, man. It's tough.
You guys have been together for a lot of your lives. Of course, you guys have been together as a band for 10 years. Can you speak on the effect that kind of growing up together as bandmates has had on the group's chemistry, both on stage and off stage?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it definitely yields itself to a great chemistry on stage, but I think off stage is really where it counts more. We're the rare exception in a band in that we don't really argue with each other. We don't have quarrels and tiffs, and there's no egos in the band. I think everybody feels valued and respected, and that's just kind of a product of that, you know what I mean? Like, we're friends first and foremost before we're bandmates, and we're really as much family as we are anything, so that's just the way we handle business, man, day to day, and it keeps it all copacetic for everybody.
Yeah.
For the music aspect of it, what kind of music did you guys listen to that created the sound of 49 Winchester?
Man, I think that's why we sound the way we do. I think that's why it's kind of hard to put a finger on, like, is it a country band, is it a rock band? I think it's a lot of both. I've loved country music my entire life. Grew up listening to it. I love southern rock. I love heavy metal. I love good EDM, good hip hop. I like anything, man. If it's well executed and it's tasteful, I can get down with it. And I think a lot of the guys in the band are that way too.
Yeah, we have pretty diverse tastes of influences and everything. Like, there are still a lot of metalheads in the band, but
we've been through phase after phase as kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
You grow up listening to this for a while and listening to that for a while, and eventually it all just kind of permeates through.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes artists have an album where they go way off their original sound. Would you guys, humor heavy metal?
We've mulled around the idea of doing a 49 Winchester doom metal album.
Yeah.
I think slow and
sludgy.
I mean, our lives have been so, we've been so busy, but if we were ever afforded the luxury of time, we would love to just get in the studio and make really
something
cool music.
Experimental. We're not
something
opposed
totally
to that
different, something off the wall.
That would be. I'm here for it if you guys want to do it. That's all I'll say. But I also want to point out that you guys have said before that you tried to set out to not sound like anyone else,
sure.
Even though you do have some influences here and there. But if you did had to describe your sound of your band, what would you say? Because I know you just mentioned a couple of country music, southern rock type things, but
yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know, it's like Dolly Parton and Tom Petty and Leonard Skinner had a baby.
Love it.
With Aretha Franklin. You know what I mean?
I guess I do.
Yeah. Soul music influences and
we love old R&B and old soul music and Stax record stuff, and that's our jam, man. Like we. I don't necessarily know that we ever set out to be any different. I think that's just kind of the way it came out in the wash.
Yeah.
It's not that we set out to be different, it's just that we didn't particularly set out to sound like anybody or anything.
Right. Yeah.
And the new album is coming soon, August 2nd, which I'm so excited for. Chase, what song are you most excited for everyone to hear on it?
It's probably the title track, at least right now, but I just love the way that turned out, the production on that song. The song Leavin This Holler has Maggie Antone singing also on the chorus. Just really big choir vocals towards the end, a really epic guitar solo.
A great string arrangement.
Love the song, really cool song. Really cool the way it turned out.
And when you guys put out Chemistry and Everlasting Lover, you guys were big on the choir sound in it too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Did you guys grow up in church, and is that something that was big?
Yeah, I did. It wasn't the kind of church that had a choir. It was a real contemporary kind of music in most of the churches I went to as a kid. But that's always been a big, powerful, moving thing within a song. Yeah. And I've heard it in a lot of different avenues of music, whether it's on a hip hop track or whether it's in a country song. That moment where the big choir comes in and drops the hammer is always cool. So.
Yeah.
Eric Church is the one person who comes to mind who always does that.
For sure.
Definitely has an impact.
Yeah.
Isaac, what was the writing process for the new album? Did you write most of it alone, or did you have a lot of co-writes?
Wrote all of it alone except for a couple of songs. And those are actually the first 2 songs in my life that I've ever written with anybody else.
Really?
Yeah. I've only done 3 co-writes in my life. I co-wrote 313 with Wyatt Flores, and then 2 songs off this record. There's one called Favor that I wrote with Kendall Marvel, and then there's one called Yearning for You, which is the first single we put out. I wrote that with my buddy Matt Koziel.
Big fan of Matt.
But the rest
too.
of it, kind of a similar process that it's always been in the past, which is just sort of when the songs hit me, they hit me, and I just kind of spew them out onto paper. It's never been a conscious effort for me to sit down and try to write for an hour a day or anything like that.
Was it challenging to co-write with someone else, or did
it
you
was an
find
interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest challenge I feel like in co-writing is, especially if you're co-writing for yourself, you know what I mean, for a song that you anticipate is going to be on your album or is going to be on a contemporary's album instead of just shopping songs around to random artists. It was kind of unusual for me to sort of open up and bare my soul to somebody, in a room. It's a pretty intimate thing, really, like writing a song is, and it's always been something that I've done. I write songs and finish them, have them complete, and then I bring the song to the guys and let them do whatever they want to do for their parts. So this was kind of the antithesis of that. That was like making a conscious effort to do something and add another mind into the creative process. So it was. I wouldn't call it a challenge because those 3 guys were pros and they were really, really easy to write with, and we got a great song each of those days. But it was definitely different, and it took some kind of settling into. I think Matt Koziel was the one that's. Like, he was the first one that I co-wrote with, and he said something basically to the effect of, like, there's no wrong answers. Don't be scared to throw out any idea, and then hash it out from there.
Nice. And Matt does that, a lot of stuff. He does a lot of that, right? Like, he writes for other people.
Yeah, Matt writes for a lot of other people. Kendall's written a lot of songs for
sure, yeah.
miscellaneous artists, throughout the decades here. And, yeah, man, it was cool to get in with those guys that do it all the time, or more often than I do, and kind of see how the co-write world goes.
Album is coming August 2nd, but we're in the middle of June, and you've already put out 2 singles. I'm hoping we're getting a 3rd before the album comes.
You will be. You'll be getting a 4th before the album comes, I think.
Any hints on what those could be?
The set list tonight.
Set list tonight, all right.
Yeah. Come to the Opry.
Isaac, you're in a relationship, but you have some wonderful heartbreak songs. How do you get the inspiration for those if you're not exactly going through a heartbreak yourself?
The things that happen in your past are still things that happened. You know what I mean? Like, heartbreak's not something that you ever really fully get over. It's always kind of a lingering, nagging thing in the back of your mind, and I just kind of try to channel that sometimes. And even if it's not something that's actively emotionally affecting me, it's still a great starting point for a song. And it's something that, man, like, that's the time in my life where I felt like I needed songs the most. Was when I was going through some rough stuff with a significant other. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a pretty easy headspace to get into, even if I'm in a happy relationship and not having recently broken up with anyone or any of that. Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable enough to get into the mindset of something that you haven't necessarily experienced? Would you write a song from a perspective that you might not yourself be familiar with? Yeah,
I mean, sure. It's not really my typical style of writing. I tend to be really introspective and write about personal experiences. I always felt like it was easier to write songs, and they came out better if they were something that you've experienced firsthand.
Genuine.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time,
there's a couple examples. Damn Darlin' and
Damn Darlin'
Long Hard Life.
Damn Darlin', Long Hard Life. That's not stuff I never got in jail for selling methamphetamine.
Can you say how
old? I was a year old in 1995, and the first line of Damn Darlin' was the night before Christmas, 1995.
Like the story song.
How it came out, yeah.
I was about to ask, can you say how old you guys are? Because I feel like people try guessing, but they wouldn't know, especially with the facial hair.
I just turned 30.
Okay.
I just turned
28.
28, okay.
I'll be 29 in less than 2 months.
Oh, nice. Okay. And then the last time we were at the Opry, I saw people in the crowd with the shirt that says "White Trash and Pretty."
Nice.
I heard that you guys don't ever play "It's a Shame" live. Is that going to change?
That's not true. We play "It's a Shame" live quite a bit.
Really? I've never seen it. So
really?
We've been doing it a lot recently.
We did the whole European tour.
If it's shorter sets, a lot of times it winds up not making the set.
Yeah.
But recently, in all our headline shows, we've played "It's a Shame" almost every night recently.
Yeah.
nice.
And some of those songs songs kind of they come in cycles, you know what I mean? Like they'll be in the set for a while, and then it'll just kind of taper out, and then it'll come back sometimes.
Got it.
Yeah, Shame, that's still a staple. If you come to a headline show this summer, it's a good chance you'll see it.
Good, because I've been to many and I haven't seen it live yet, so I'm waiting.
Gosh, that's wild.
Do you take fan suggestions from the crowd? Has that been a thing where you see a sign and throw it? No.
That list is set.
I mean, yeah, it's if it's a really loose environment, if it's just a vibe.
Yeah, and it's one that we've been like rotating through anyways lately, then we'll definitely do it.
Yeah, sure. But by and large, like, we know the set list before we get on stage.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I always call it all meat and no taters.
Nice.
I want to play the fastest, loudest, heaviest, hardest hitting stuff, and the ones that break the most hearts, and the one I want to play the most impactful songs I can live, especially when it's like a festival set where you've got 45 minutes or an hour or something.
Gotta make the most of it.
Yeah, headline sets you get a little more. We're able to stretch our legs on the catalog some and dig back into other stuff. Residencies 2-3 nights in a particular club or theater or something, we'll dig in and do stuff from the older records and stuff like that, but for the most part, it's pretty concrete.
Is there a sense whenever you're playing a festival that you're trying to win people over with
for sure. I mean, we're always trying to win somebody over. That's like, there's no show is different than the next. It doesn't matter if it's a club with 500 or 1,000 people in it, or if it's a stadium.
Yeah, we gotta give them a show.
Million. You got to go out there and kick people in the ass and give them a great show and play great songs for them. So, but at a festival, it is cool. That's one of the cool like idiosyncrasies of a festival. Is like there's always people there that have no idea who you are.
Yeah.
And being able to kind of lay it out for them is always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any rituals or rules for right before shows? No one gets too drunk, or you guys all pretty?
No, we're all pretty straight laced. I've been known to get a little too drunk, but it's never been before a show.
It's always after.
It's always been after a show. But and we're straight laced dudes. We're professionals. We've been doing this long enough to know that it's too important to us to give it less than our best effort. You know what I mean?
And speaking of being at it for a long time, last time that you talked to Whiskey Riff, Isaac, you were talking about the tour bus situation. I think you guys were still doing the van life.
Yeah.
Is the tour bus in your not in your hands, but you know what I'm saying? Do you guys have the tour bus
it's
now?
Parked right out back.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Right by the entrance door.
And what is that upgrade like? Have you guys found that
fantastic.
to be awesome?
Yeah. It's like being able to time travel. You know what I mean? You fall asleep in the parking lot behind the venue that you played, and you wake up in the parking lot behind the venue you're about to play. It just affords you so much more free time. You get to wake up and have 6 or 7 hours to go do stuff in the city you're in, and before you have to sound check or worry about any of that stuff. So it definitely, it's a massive upgrade. A lot more sleep, a lot less hassle.
Yeah, before we'd have to get up, even if it was a show that, load up, get to the hotel at 1 a.m. Sometimes if you had a 6 or 7 hour drive the next day, you have to get up at 6 or 7 and start, you have to be there at 1 or whatever. You have to start driving.
Yeah.
Everybody get in the van at 7 a.m. Got 3 shows in a row.
We did that for a long time, man. We did that for 9 years.
And a lot of bands do, and, nothing but respect to
a lot
all
of
the
bands
bands.
never get out of that. They're touring a band their whole lives, and it's something that you get used to. You kind of get used to the ritual of it, but it's still just so much infinitely better to be in a bus.
Yeah, you don't miss it at all. I'm assuming.
You don't miss it at all.
But again, nothing but respect to everybody who's still out there grinding, because we literally 7 years of it before.
Okay, we're gonna switch to some rapid fire, just very random questions.
Right on.
So
we'll edit this part out. You won't even
Okay.
know it's there.
Sure,
So.
no worries.
Okay.
Seamless.
Sad country songs and blank make me happy. Fill in the blank.
There is a distinct happiness about catching a nice, healthy buzz and hearing sad songs.
Yeah.
Then they do tend to make me happy. So I'll say sad country songs and cold beer make me happy. Usually after like an hour of moping. But then a couple of beers kick in and you're back in the game.
Back to happy.
Yeah.
What about you?
Sad country songs and a good crowd.
Good crowd?
Yeah, man. I love playing sad stuff for
a room full of people,
thousands and thousands of people,
and just getting the feels. Everybody gets in the feels.
Watch everybody melt out in the crowd. Yeah. What's something that's still on your all's bucket list? It could be career-wise, could be personal. We've had people answer by saying skydiving, so it could be anything.
Yeah, sure. I mean, for me, band-wise, there's some stuff we're going to check off this year that's always been kind of bucket list stuff. For years it was like, one of these days we're going to play the Opry. One of these days we're going to play the Ryman. And then you check off some of those things, and you're like, well, where do you go from here? We did our Red Rocks debut this year. We're looking forward to Bonaroo.
Yeah.
It's going to be really cool. We haven't done Roo yet. Bucket list music stuff, music venues. I mean, Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Chase, I quickly wanted to ask about Bonaroo. I know it's a full circle moment for you. Can you share that story?
Sure, yeah. I worked for a company from Johnson City where I live now, Access Security, just they're like event staff at festivals, football games, whatever. So Bonaroo, searching cars, scanning people's wristbands, all that kind of stuff. I was 20 and I met my girlfriend Brandy there working for Access Security. We were both essentially searching cars together for 8 hours a day. And that's like where we met. Yeah.
That's where love grows, man.
Yeah.
Bonaroo.
Yeah, I mean,
searching cars at Bonaroo in the 110 degrees sweltering.
You know, it's like if we get through that, we can get through anything. So
yeah,
we did. We have.
Beautiful.
Are you guys NASCAR fans?
Not particularly. You know, we grew up in Bristol.
Yeah.
We grew up around Bristol where there's a big NASCAR track and a pretty legendary one at that.
I feel like neither of us are like super into it, but it was always around our whole life. Like
it's just a part of the culture in Appalachia.
Yeah.
Like you're constantly surrounded by it. If you're not a NASCAR fan, somebody in your family or your immediate friend group is a huge NASCAR fan. It was just something I never really dove into.
Yeah, it's Bristol. It's Bristol, baby.
It's Bristol, baby.
Yeah.
Favorite sad country song?
Oh, God. There's the Door by George Jones. It's either that or it's got to be a Jones song for me. Wild Irish Rose. That's a heartbreaker.
Mine would probably be John Prine, which most of his first album, Hello in there.
Yeah.
All of it. Yeah. What's your guys' go-to drink order?
Shirley Temple. Virgin Shirley Temple.
Virgin.
Mine's a latte.
I like a whiskey ginger.
Ooh, same.
I like a whiskey ginger a lot. Or anything tart also. You know what I mean? I love a margarita. I love a lemon drop. Summertime drink though, like poolside beverage, I am a mojito man.
Mojitos.
Believe it.
I do like mojitos.
Yeah, man.
Looking at your full catalog, what's the song that you're most proud of?
I guess I would have to say Russell County Line.
Yeah.
There's stuff off this new album that I feel like is really fantastic, and I'm super, super proud of the whole project. But Russell County Line is always going to be the one that, like, one of the first songs that people started latching onto en masse, and it was also something that people from back home, where we were grinding and working so hard to cultivate this career, it's a song that they were able to have a piece of too. So that one's like definitely a really emotionally significant song to me.
Just a couple more. What is your guilty pleasure song?
Guilty pleasure song right now, it's not all that guilty, but $1 Million Baby.
I literally was thinking the same exact song. It's like, what's up with that? It's so like that's. I couldn't even think of the name off the bat, but that's what melody was in my head.
It's the melody, man. It's the hooky stuff.
It's so catchy.
Stuff.
Yeah,
I know. If you scroll TikTok, it's just the hooks. I won't know the song name.
I know.
I know that little.
Sometimes you don't even know the artist.
seconds.
You just know that snippet.
I just like how distorted and like everything sounds like it's overblown.
The bass is absolutely pounding in that song too.
I love it.
It's very, very well produced.
It's hard to beat.
Yeah.
Hangover cure. What do you guys go with?
1 pound of thick cut bacon.
Bacon.
And 2 bottles of Dr. Enough.
Okay.
And if y'all don't know what Dr. Enough is, it's a magical, mineral-filled beverage from Johnson City, Tennessee.
That's right.
And it's good for whatever ails you.
What's yours?
Coffee.
And Chase don't get
coffee. I don't know. I've never really been hungover like much. You know, maybe when I was like 18, but
that's a blessing and a curse.
Chase drinks probably less than anybody else in the band.
Yeah.
He's real tame with it. I have to nurse a hangover more frequently than Chase does.
I drink 1 to 3 beers a month or less sometimes.
No way.
I just never drink. Yeah, I usually never drink.
On the road, that's crazy.
Well,
good for you. Okay, last question. I don't know if you guys even do karaoke, but what is your karaoke song?
I've never done karaoke in my life. Never. Which is so odd because it's literally singing in front of people.
Yeah, I've never.
But it's always been, every time I've ever been to a karaoke place and somebody's like, jump up there, I'm like, no, I can't.
I can't do
I can't do that.
Well, then how did you...
I'm so nervous.
How did you like know you could sing? Because a lot of people like find out in church, just picking up.
Man, it was a weird thing for me because like nobody heard me sing growing up. It was always just like me and my room with a guitar, and my parents heard me through the floor, you know, but nobody ever knew. The first time I ever sang in front of anybody was the very first 49 Winchester show ever.
Wow.
Yeah. Besides the boys in the band.
Yeah, that's insane.
So it was one of those things like I knew I loved to sing, and I knew that what I was doing sounded good to me, but there was no real basis for it. I just, I was musically inclined enough to know that I am singing on pitch and I'm not tone deaf.
Right.
And then I just kind of took a swing at it, man. We never did stop.
Yeah.
Well, if you do ever get forced up on a karaoke stage, Tequila is a good one.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
From
Very minimal lyrics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lyric. It's
Yeah.
just one.
Very minimal lyric. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But I mean, if I had to pick if like a big karaoke banger where I just go and throw it out there, it would be "Don't Stop Believing."
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Good one.
That's a classic. Everybody knows that song. There's big, huge vocal moments in it.
And you can do the thing where you put the microphone out to whoever's in the bar and they sing the high notes.
Yes.
And Chase
what I
definitely
do.
won't be doing karaoke if he's not drinking.
No, yeah.
I'm not a karaoke man.
Well, thanks so
Couldn't do
much,
it.
guys, for
Yeah,
the
no doubt.
time. Enjoy playing the Opry
Thanks
another
very
time,
much.
and we're excited for the new album.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a bunch.